Donald Trump promised that his tariffs would deliver $15 trillion in new investment. The claim made headlines.
On social media, the president celebrating the tariffs, which will hit 90 countries.
But behind the curtain, the measurable gains didn't reach households. They flowed to Trump's businesses, his family's ventures, and the lobbyists who brokered access. During his first term, watchdogs documented $13.6 million in foreign government payments to Trump properties. By his second, that figure escalated to billions through crypto allocations, aid leverage contracts, and mineral concessions. This is the story of how grand promises collapsed, but profits kept flowing. Between 2017 and 2021, Trump's branded hotels and golf clubs operated as political toll booths. $13.6 million. Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, CREW, tracked at least this much in foreign government spending at Trump businesses during his first term. At least 20 governments participated. $750,000. Trump's inaugural committee itself paid this sum to Trump's Washington hotel for space and catering. $270,000. Saudi Arabia spent this much in a few months at Trump's D.C. hotel. Kuwait, Turkey, and Malaysia each shifted events to Trump properties, bringing in hundreds of thousands more. These weren't vacation bookings. They were political cover charges. Access to the administration was bundled with room keys and catering bills. The revenues were in the millions, setting the baseline for what would come next. In his second term, Trump turned aid budgets into bargaining chips, $4.9 billion. In August 2025, the administration announced the cancellation or freeze of this much U.S. foreign aid. The Supreme Court later upheld the freeze on more than $4 billion, allowing it to lapse. $190 million. A Washington Post investigation found this much in anti-malarial and HIV drugs stranded in warehouses across 40-plus countries when the freeze disrupted USAID supply chains. Clinics in places like the Democratic Republic of Congo reported preventable deaths. Governments desperate to restore aid turned to K Street. $17 million. Within 6 months of Trump's 2024 election, Global Witness found poor nations signed this much in lobbying contracts with firms tied to Trump's allies. $1.2 million. The DRC paid Ballard Partners this sum while lobbying for security support and favorable treatment for cobalt and lithium concessions. $550,000. Somalia contracted BGR Government Affairs for this amount. $372,000. Yemen also signed with BGR. $450,000 per month. Pakistan agreed to pay this figure under 2 contracts. $900,000. Guatemala's contract with Ballard Partners, paid not by Guatemala but by Taiwan, which picked up the bill to strengthen its ally. Aid wasn't replaced by new U.S. grants. It was rerouted through private intermediaries. Lobbyists collected the fees, governments got access. Ordinary beneficiaries, the people reliant on aid, were left exposed. Minerals became another cash register. Cobalt, lithium, and rare earths are essential for smartphones, EVs, and defense. 80%. The U.S. imported this share of its rare earth compounds and metals in 2024, 60 to 70%. China controls this proportion of global rare earth mine output, around 270,000 of 390,000 metric tons produced worldwide. To reduce dependence on China, Washington looked for new partners. Instead of benefiting U.S. supply security, many of these deals enriched lobbyists and Trump-connected firms. $1.2 million, paid by the DRC to Ballard Partners while lobbying for U.S. recognition of its mineral concessions. South American lithium rights were negotiated through opaque contracts involving millions in lobbying fees. Global Witness warned that transactional concessions risked undermining long-term supply chain stability. Minerals were treated less like a strategic resource and more like casino chips. The winnings went to those with the right intermediaries. By the second term, the biggest scale shift was crypto. $550 million. Bloomberg reported this much was raised in World Liberty Financial, WLFI, token sales. 75%. A Trump-controlled entity was entitled to this share of net revenues from WLFI token sales, plus 60% of future operating income. 22.5 billion tokens, allocated to Trump's family and affiliates at launch, $400 to $500 million. Analysts estimate this much has already been captured in fees and allocations. $5 billion. The family's paper wealth in WLFI, based on token valuations. $2 billion. A UAE-backed firm committed this amount to WLFI's stable coin system. $100 million. Another UAE fund invested directly in WLFI tokens. From $13.6 million in hotels to billions in crypto, the scale of enrichment multiplied. Crypto turned political access into generational wealth. For households, promises came with price tags. $831. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York calculated this as the annual added cost per U.S. household from Trump's first tariff wave. $15 billion. Agricultural exports lost to retaliatory tariffs, per Bureau of Labor Statistics data. 14 million. The Congressional Budget Office projected this many Americans could lose Medicaid coverage under Trump-backed cuts. 13%. Proposed annual budget cut for the Department of Education, targeting special education and teacher training. Macroeconomic risk followed. 40 to 45%. Economists raised U.S. recession odds to this range due to tariff shocks and policy uncertainty. 63%. Polling in 2025 found this share of Americans expected prices to rise under Trump's tariffs. $500 billion annually. Peterson Institute analysis estimated this as the burden of Trump's new tariff proposals, translating to $1,700 a year for a middle-income household and a 3.5% hit to disposable income for the poorest half. Households carried the burden. Insiders reaped the rewards. Who truly benefited when promises failed? Not households, not farmers, not patients or students. The winners were the lobbyists and insiders who profited from access. $13.6 million paid into Trump hotels in his first term. $17 million in 6 months. Paid to Trump-linked lobbyists after his 2024 re-election. Specific cases: DRC $1.2 million, Somalia $550,000, Yemen $372,000, Pakistan $450,000 per month, Guatemala $900,000, paid by Taiwan. Crypto billions, $550 million raised, 22.5 billion tokens allocated, $400 to $500 million captured, $5 billion in paper wealth, $2 billion plus in foreign capital transactions. Lobbyists became indispensable. When aid was cut, they sold access. When minerals were at stake, they brokered deals. When crypto needed favorable regulation, they shaped the environment. Ballard Partners, founded by a Trump bundler, reported $33.9 million in federal lobbying receipts in 2025, making it one of the highest-paid firms in Washington. Trump promised $15 trillion. The public got higher costs, weaker health care, and budget cuts. But for insiders, the system worked exactly as intended. When promises failed, profits didn't stop. The House always wins. And in this case, the House was run by lobbyists and Trump's own circle.